Okie dokie, what is up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Let me turn up my headphones here. Alrighty, let's get this thing going. How everybody's doing today? Give it a couple of more minutes, see if people get in the chats. For those of you that are joining for the first time, my name is Marquise. This is the Keyse Review. So basically, we overview things, going over certain tech in different industries, regardless if it's gaming, cars, computers, home theater, mobile, etc. So if you're here for the first time, thanks for joining us, guys. So, this is a gloomy day out here in Los Angeles, California. I just got a couple of new lights, though, so hopefully I look a lot better. You can see me, because without them, it'll probably be very, very dark in the room, and you can probably barely see me. So, hopefully that makes good for your viewing pleasure. We also got a couple of other upgrades we've been making, so it makes it a lot easier for me for this live stream, So, get into the first topic, which is actually non-tech. We have hit about 30 subscribers on the YouTube page. So basically, we have been doing this for exactly 30 days, and we basically got a subscriber a day. So if we keep on doing that, or even get a little bit better, that would be awesome, man. So 30 subscribers on the YouTube. We have 88 subscribers on Facebook. So, just in a month time, that's, a total of, what's that? I would say 110 subscribers. So yeah, good stuff. Thanks for joining my channel. Thanks for supporting me. We definitely want to keep going with this Keyse review thing. Definitely. But that's, big news. I'm very happy about that when I checked the stats earlier this morning. But, thanks for joining. Thanks for subscribing. Keep, liking those videos, guys. If you have some friends that might can be useful, information or anything like that, have them join the Keyse review, I won't be afraid to answer questions or anything like that. So let's go on to our first actual topic today. Our first topic is the F-150. Ford had announced it this week for the 2021 model. They had announced a lot of tech, actually. They have announced that the F-150 is going to be kind of like a truck unlike anything else, as so forth they put it, with a lot of the features that they're coming out with. So basically, they say they're going to have 7 models that we know of. So we're going to have the XL, the STX, or XLT. I'm not sure, they kind of being a little funny with that one. But XTX, XLT, Lariat Sport, King Ranch, Platinum, and the Limited at the top end of that. The feature is going to include things like they're going to have Sync 4 into it. So with Sync 4, for anybody that knows any Ford vehicles, what the Sync 4 does is it allows smart features onto the radio and everything like that. So you get things like voice command, you get navigation on it, smartphone technology, connectivity, all that stuff. They're going to be advancing it. They said that the voice recognition technology will be a lot better. Not only is it going to be better, it's going to also include GPS or navigation voice commands. So that's kind of huge for people that don't use Android CarPlay or Apple Auto. I'm sorry, I got that confused. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So for people that don't use those technologies, built-in maps into the system itself. I'm usually more built-in than I am anything else. But, it's a welcome change if, people want to switch between the technologies. Allegedly, this is still supposed to have your, Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto. I'm also hearing that it should be wireless even. So you can switch back and forth within whatever maps you want to use, whatever system you want to use. So we got voice recognition, cloud-based connectivity, which is going to be a big feature, which they're saying that you're going to be able to have over-the-air updates, meaning that you don't have to take in like a cell phone to the vehicle for update. You don't have to go and get a flash drive and plug it into the computer and try to update everything. Everything is just going to be right there, as you're sleeping, download and ready for you to install it when you wake up and go to your vehicle. So that's going to be interesting. That's more on the lines that a Tesla would do. So they have that. We also have, one thing I found interesting kind of researching a little bit yesterday and this morning is that they said they're going to have the actual manual on the screen. So if you ever go somewhere and you're looking for the manual, it's actually going to be built into the system itself. Now, that being said, I know that there is a couple of models. If we go ahead, let me try to pull up the picture here, because that was one thing I kind of noticed. And for those of you guys that was on my live stream would have seen, and let me go ahead and full screen this guy. So full screen, then we switch here to the screens. If you see right here, you have the screen, but this is not like the big screen right there. So if we go over here, I gotta exit out because their website don't support it. So XTX, I mean, XLT. So you see how much bigger that screen is, and it's a lot bigger. I believe they said this is a 12-inch screen, which I think don't make it any bigger. Like the Tesla, I think it was in the Model S, where when I sat down in the vehicle, the screen was like a 21-inch screen, and for a car, that's just ridiculous, So I don't think it has to be any, bigger than that. I think 12 inches is perfect for what it is. Leave it 12 inch, The other screen, I don't know what size that is. I'm gonna say that's maybe an 8-inch screen. So you have an 8-inch. So that also begs to differ. Are we going to get all those extra technologies over the air updates? Are we going to get that, navigation system where it's going to be able to have voice navigation? Oh, and navigation is going to have real-time traffic. Is the features going to cost? I'm going to guess there's going to be some kind of fee. Whenever you do things like over-the-air updates and everything like that, that means it has to access the cell tower. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they're not going to let you do that for free. So how much is going to be, it's subjective. I know for Tesla, usually you have to pay. They might give you like a maybe a few months, maybe 3-month trial version. You don't have to pay for anything, but eventually I'm going to guess you have to pay. They didn't unveil any pricing structure for any of those features right there, but we should definitely see. But I like that big screen though. Like I think that's the perfect size. Don't make it bigger. 12-inch, I think it's going to be the sweet spot for a lot of these vehicles right there. So that's definitely that. Then we have on the limited edition. So they didn't really make this clear when we was doing the live stream on Thursday, I believe it was. But they said they was going to have a Bowers and also Osfer, I can't never say that name right, but a B&O sound system that's going to be in the vehicle. As far as I gather from looking at things, that B&O system's only going to be on a limited edition. And I'll get over pricing. Pricing's not official, but I saw some rumors about the pricings, which I'll say in a minute. But they say it's only going to be on a limited edition, which is the most expensive model of the class. So that's going to be kind of the smart features. Also stuff that I don't have in my notes. I know they had sold how the vehicle was reacting to light, how vehicles was reacting to other vehicles, features that they're going to be coming out with soon, which is going to really, really add to the whole connected car experience. So to be able to go up to the light and have the vehicle automatically adjust to the situation, that's going to be something that we have to think about. Is there traffic on the route? Is there construction on the route? All that stuff's supposed to be connected, I believe, with the cloud actually. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how that technology works. So you have that. You're also going to have adaptive cruise control. So adaptive cruise control, so basically what it does for those that use cruise control knows that you go and you can set the lever or your car and it will just drive for you. You don't have to put your foot on the left pedal. With adaptive cruise control, it's going to do a lot more than that. So instead of just being able to get speed, it's going to be able to slightly turn for you, to keep you within the lane, which is also, I believe, is going to be considered their hands-free driving. I'm guessing. They still haven't made that clear, but you're going to be able to, let the car basically drive, no foot on the pedals. It's going to be able to brake for you. I haven't heard about anything about changing lanes yet, but I'm going to guess if it's for that hands-free, it's going to be able to change lanes. Is also going to be able to, see the stoplight, slow down, see a car in front of you, slow down, And then when everything clears up or road conditions get better, then the vehicle will actually go start speeding back up and get back to the suggested speed. So it's going to be interesting to see that. The hands-free portion of it, I'm really, really interested in, because one thing with laws is that you have to have your hands on the wheel. So to say hands-free driving, that's kind of a push, because we want to see, okay, if it's hands-free driving and there's laws against not having your hand on the wheel, how's that really going to work? Unless they're going to, working on a law or a bill to pass to become a law in order to allow for hands-free driving. So something like that's going to be interesting as well. Power Pro, Pro Power, I'm sorry. So what Pro Power, this is one of the things I'm interested in, is that it's going to be able to have a plug on the back of the vehicle where you can plug in and jack in for power. So especially if you're at the job site and you have like a miter saw, you need to cut some wood down, you should be able to definitely have some power in the vehicle for that. But that sounds like an option. And not only does it sound like an option, it also sounds like it's going to be something that's going to be only on the hybrid version, which they are planning on the vehicle. So let me see if I can find a Pro Power on here. I just seen it earlier. So let me see. It's not on there. It's not on there. Where's the picture? And all of a sudden I can't find it. Pro Power. Let me scroll up to the top. There we go. I found it. Alrighty. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Here's your Pro Power. So as you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 110 volt plugs right there. So it's to be able to power those devices. If you also see right there at the top, you're going to have a 220 volt plug even. So you see that? So you got a 220 volt plug right there. You have 410 volt plugs right there. And then it looks like you have a power button. And here's 2 other buttons that says A and B. I don't know what those are exactly going to do. But it looks like you'll be able to just jack into the vehicle and get power. Now, here's my question. Are you guys going to be able to have a separate battery, or all of it's going to be taking power from the hybrid battery? Because if this is supposed to run on the hybrid power, I'm going to guess it's going to take power away from that battery, which is probably going to reduce your range. And I'll go over range in a minute. But it's probably going to reduce your range. But nonetheless, if you want to power stuff, basically that battery is your generator. Plug everything right there at the job site. Bam, bam, bam. You got power. Even a 220 volt, which I find amazing that they have that plug there. But I'm guessing in that case, the battery's got to be a minimum of 220 volt on that hybrid battery. So let me check the comments here. We got a couple of comments. That's huge, but the truck looked large too. Yeah, I don't know the sizes of the truck. The Fords are pretty nice size now. I'm really looking for like the higher end models, like the Limited, the Platinum, King Rancher, Lariat Sport. How big those trucks going to be. Real-time traffic nav would be sick. Yes, it will be. A lot of people don't have real-time traffic when you do a navigation unless you're on an internet connected app. If you do the like a Kenwood radio, you can use the what's it called? I have it on my phone. The navigation, I think it's NavDeck, where you can connect to the internet, and then it will display traffic onto the Garmin maps from the radio. If I'm using that, I've been using more Android Auto lately and Google Maps. But if you're using the Garmin, you can use that. And honestly, me personally, I like built-in maps a lot better, because with stuff like Google Maps, with Apple Maps, those has to rely on an internet connection for navigation. But what if you lose your internet, then you don't have no maps. And I've had experience with this once. One time when I was driving to Vegas, and one time when I was trying to see some extended family members, as I'm driving on the road, I, hit a patch where there was no internet connection, and then the map is just blank. And you're basically driving blind. So it's like, you get to freak out, be like, okay, well, I'm driving and don't know where I'm going. I just hope, as I'm driving, I catch something, or I'll pull over to the side and reset my phone real quick and see if I can get a signal again. So it's going to be interesting to see how they operate with that too. But otherwise, they have, and actually, we'll go ahead and leave up a picture. We'll go down to these cars right here. We'll go ahead and put some glamour shots on her. Why not? You know, make it look nice right there. So let me close this, download down, whatever that was. So that's a nice looking truck. I kind of like the looks, man. But let me go over the specs some more. So we have that. We went over voice limited navigation, voice activation navigation, adaptive control, blind spot information system. Blitz is what they call it. So with blind spot, what it's going to be able to do is, if you ever drove a car with blind spot, on the mirrors it usually has a light, and some you can even activate sound for them. So if somebody's passing through on your blind spot, basically on your left or right, the light will light up, or the car will blink if it's close, or if you're about to turn where the car is, so you can avoid an accident. With their Bliss system, it should be able to have another smart feature. It should be able to have a point to where you can put a trailer on your truck, and the vehicle is going to automatically recognize, or maybe because you're plugging it into the vehicle, the power and everything, it's going to recognize when somebody's on the side of the truck and the trailer together. So if somebody's passing by the trailer, it's still going to light up. So that's going to be something interesting that I would definitely want to see. So, and I think that's going to be a great feature to use on the car. My grandmother has blind spot on her Lincoln, and I kind of like it. I was like, because I'm more like a hardcore purist guy, like, oh, I don't need all that technology, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes, you know what, it kind of makes sense when you out there in the road, especially out here in these California streets, and, people just go in your blind spot and you barely see them. And if you're not paying attention, you will hit them. So I think the Blitz system is going to be kind of good, and definitely good for the trailers. Even more so, I would say, if you're hauling something, toy haulers, your boats, trailers, whatever. I think that's going to be awesome. Let me see. It said that's called an adventure. Truck looks sexy. This is a good looking truck. I'm not going to lie. And they said, I believe they have 11 grill versions. So let me see. And I hate that the website won't let me just tab over. You have to exit the screen. Like, here's the interior right here. And man, like, that's the King Ranch. I'm not usually a King Ranch guy, but this one is just something about this peanut butter interior. I think if they took the logos out, I would appreciate it more. I kind of don't like all the badging inside of it and all this stuff. I can do without that stuff. I'm not really a wood grain guy, but the picture just looks beautiful right there with that big screen right there. You can see some of the apps. You got your AccuWeather, you got your iHeartRadio, Pandora Rays, Ford plus Alexa. Oh, that's how they get the voice recognition. You see that, guys? I didn't even see that at first. They have the Alexa right there. Y'all see that? Ford plus Alexa. So they're going to use Amazon Alexa on there. Got it. So you have a push button start. I went over there on my other live stream. Push button start right there. You got a couple of ports right here for your charging. So I'm guessing that's going to be a 110 right there. This is probably going to be a USB up there. This look like your cruise control. Oh no, that's your powertrain control. 2-wheel versus 4-wheel, high-low. You're going to have your steering wheel right here with all your controls. I believe I counted 12 buttons. No, it had to be 16, 17 buttons, I believe it was. 17, 18, something like that. And then you have your dash right there, your instrument cluster, which is all digital now, TFT screen, which I think is just the way of the future. We're going to see them in more and more cars. When I went to the auto show, we seen a lot of cars when I went with my uncle. A lot of them I should say, have the touch the TFT screen onto the instrument cluster. So that's going to be a way of life now. Let me see. Every car should come with that. Every car should come with that. Maybe they'll make it a law. I know that they're supposed to be making backup cameras a law like a couple of years ago, but everybody's fully haven't been in there yet. So we'll see what happens with all that stuff. Let's see. Wait, they got different grill options. Yeah, they announced 11 grill options. I don't know how many grill options or what they completely look like. There's still some stuff they didn't show. They said that we will get that at a later date. I honestly wish they would have just showed us more at this particular event, especially considering for a vehicle, because it's like you're announcing a vehicle that's supposed to be released in a few months. It's, go ahead, show it, man, And that's why I didn't feel like Ford gave the best showing for this truck. They try to hold too much back, or maybe, who knows, maybe they're not ready with all the features yet either. So that's something else to consider, but Ford will eventually announce it when they're ready. We went over Power Pro. Center console lays flat with the shifter. Let me see if I can find a picture on here with that, because they're basically saying, let me see. that you can lay this console flat. Oh yeah, here's a wireless charger. So it does have a wireless charging system. I'm going to guess that's going to be optional. I'm going to guess. Let me see. Let's read this stuff right here. Wireless charger available. Wireless charging may not be compatible with all mobile phones. Pre-production, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to guess that might not be standard in every vehicle. Here's another, the Pro Power right there. I kind of like that Pro Power feature, man. Like, that's, you know, I like that. They also have this little step stool right here that you can step up. There's a little step to get up into the tailgate, which I like GMC's interpretation better, personally, because GMC has something like this. They've been doing it for 2 years. But I will say, you know, nonetheless, it will help out. They expanded their floorboards too, where the floorboards you can get to the back of the truck, basically like right over here in this area right here. So you can see the floorboard kind of extends to the back of the truck right here, so you can get to this part as well. And let me see if I can find that console laying flat. And I don't think they had a picture online. You might, oh yeah, actually here we go right here. So if you look on this picture, so you see the man has a laptop there, where under this is a shifter. So basically the shifter will be able to lie flat, and it will be able to have the center console come up and open up into a work surface. So you'll be able to put your laptop or, you know, notes, writing notes and everything like that right there into the center console right there. One thing I don't know, because of how the video sold it, excuse me, if it's going to be wireless. I mean wireless, if it's going to be motorized. So that's one question I don't know, because it looks like from the photo of the video that they were showing in the stream that the shifter laid flat and then the thing opens up all automatically. But we don't know. Maybe that was just a graphic showing how that thing works. You know, you might have to intervene and do it manually, but that's something that we have to wait for Ford to confirm. But they have the console laying flat. That's another little neat feature for the bosses, you know, that really don't keep their truck dirty. I would say, you know, the people that come up there and be watching you, making sure you do your jobs, that's probably more of a feature for them. But nevertheless, consoles lay flat. And we're going, that's it for, I think, all the smart features and features inside. We'll go over some of the other stuff, and I will actually put another graphic on here because it does look nice. Oh, let's put the boat. Why not? Boat or blue? Nah, let's do the boat. Even though I'd rather put the blue, but the boat probably proves the point. So yeah, there we go. So it actually made me put this all full screen. So there you go. So, and it's probably good we put in that because that's my next notes right here. The transmission, so the powertrain is going to be a 10-speed, automatic, no manual versions. No surprise there. We're going to have, I think they said about 7 engine options. I think I got most of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6. I'm missing one somewhere, but this is what I got for engine options. So they're going to have a 2.7 liter V6 twin turbo, a 3.0 liter V6 twin turbo, a 3.3 liter V6 naturally aspirated, a 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo, a 5.0 liter V8 engine. So only looking like one V8 engine, unless I miss one, but looking like one V8 engine, naturally aspired. So no power adders on that. And one that's going to be the interesting one is going to be the 3.5 liter twin turbo with the 35 kilowatt electric motor on it. That thing should be able to get 700 miles to the gallon. I'm tripping. 700 miles of maximum range to this vehicle between the electric motors and the gasoline engine inside the vehicle if you get the hybrid. So that's going to be very interesting to see a truck at that, you know, a pickup truck, a consumer truck basically, that can do 700 miles of range. You know, we'll definitely see. That's a lot of range right there, man. You can go to Vegas and back on a single tank of gas. Don't even have to fill up at all. At least from California. If you live somewhere else in Florida, I can't help you there. But that's 700 miles, and especially a lot of it's electric motor. Now, I don't know if they're going to have it to where they have kind of like the adaptive braking system where it will charge the motors, everything like that. That's something that Ford hasn't announced yet. I'm going to guess they should have something like that to kind of increase the range of the battery and charge it a little bit. But I'm going to guess that for the electric motor, you might have to stop at a stop and charge it, you know, via like how the Tesla do theirs and have it charged for a little bit. But we'll see. We shall see. Touring range, touring capacity, 13,000 pounds is what we're hearing right now. So you got a good amount of towing. So you should be definitely able to tow boats, toy haulers, blah, blah, blah. And for the prices, so these prices are not what Ford are saying they are. So don't take these for the Bible, basically. But these are the prices of what I'm hearing that they should be. So for the XL, $30,000. XLT, $35,000. The Lariat, $45,000. King Ranch Edition, $55,000. Platinum Edition, $60,000. And for the limited edition is going to be about 70 grand for the top of the line model. I'm going to guess that's with all the bells and whistles on that one. But that's what the rumored prices are going to be. So, if you guys looking to buy one of the Ford F-150s, those are the prices. You can make your decision off that. I'm real interested in the hybrid one, man. Now, typically I would say 5.0 V8 all day, but it's just something that eludes me with that electric motor. It's just interesting to me, especially on a truck, So let me check the chat. We got we read that. Looks cool. That's rad. I'll take the 3.5 twin turbo electric. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that one, honestly. I'm very, very interested to see what that one does, because with the electric motors and the gasoline engine, and here's the thing with the hybrid, if they do it right, you might can get a quicker takeoff too. You'll get better torque, and of course you're going to get better range, So it's going to be a lot of things to be said with that hybrid engine. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what that stuff does, that junk does, as one of my friends would like to say, on that hybrid engine. So I can't wait to see more. I felt like Ford should have did a better job at presenting the truck, though. I didn't feel like the event, the unveiling, was that strong. I mean, it was cool, seeing some of the first responders on there. They talked about that was cool. And then some people shared their stories, but I would have wanted to know more about the truck, I wanted to know more about what features it has, what the model directly has, what's more about the engine and the powertrains, Is it a Cummins or, well, that would be the engine, but, I can't think of the transmission type right now, but they got different transmission types. But it looks like from what they're saying, it's only one transmission, which I'm almost doubting. I'm going to guess there's probably going to be two since they got so many models of trucks, but we just have to wait for Ford to announce it. So that's it for the car side of it for this week. We'll go over a little bit quick over tech. We have Intel announcing that they are going to use, or they didn't announce it, but it was in a tech document, that they are going to use for their next processor, the Alder Lake, is going to be using a new socket. Now note, for the computer builders out there, we just got a new socket that is the LGA 1200 pin. And now they're already saying for next gen, they're going to go to the 1700. So to me, for anybody that's looking for, top performance and everything like that, I will probably hold off on buying a processor right now, especially if it's from Intel. Intel, I know for sure, is going to come out with Alder Lake. It's to be made on the 10 nanometer process, which is a smaller processor, smaller chip size, die size. That's going to give you more power, better power efficiency. They said it's going to have PCIe 5.0, so it should be, I got that wrong. DDR, the RAM, DDR5, they're going to have PCIe 4.0 on it, and they're going to have, what else did they mention? I don't have it on my notes. They mentioned something else with it. I have to look it up. I'll probably do that in another document or probably a news bite segment, but they are going to come out with a new pen. They're saying it's going to take up more power. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It's going to use 8 cores from what I'm hearing, but the 8 cores is going to be different. So you're going to have 8 normal cores, and then you're going to have 8 little cores. And this is going to be built on a Forevo's package where everything's like integrated onto, or 3D stacked onto everything, as well as using the MCM, the multi-chip modules, which is going to include adding up a Xe graphics card that we should be getting unveiled soon, which is already starting to leak out about products that's going to be coming out with it in the fall of this year. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see. Anybody looking for a new computer and everything like that, I will say wait if you don't if you're not in a rush to get a computer and a desperate need to get a new computer. I would actually say wait and see what Outer Lake does. Honestly, it's going to be a new process, going to use some new memory chips. I would say hold off on that. So now we're going over to some gaming news. So first off, The Last of Us 4. Last of Us 4. I'm making mistakes today. Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2, guys, has sold 4 million copies in 3 days. The first 3 days of release, 4 million copies of the game. The Last of Us Part 2 is now the fastest selling PlayStation 4 game in history. So if you think about that, 4 million copies in 3 days, that's about, I would have to say, what, probably like 1.25 units per day. That's a lot of copies. How much of that is physical versus downloads, I don't know. I'm going to guess probably downloads probably took the priority since we're dealing with COVID and everything like that. And note, like that game is at least 80 gigabytes in size. So to sell 4 million copies, and I actually had a couple of buddies that I don't even have the game yet. I've been super busy this week. I'm going to try to pick it up this week, but I already have a couple of friends that said they completed the game. Like the game hasn't even been out for a full week. I think we almost about a full week from the release. Dude, like 4 million copies and people beating the game already. There's a lot of reports coming out. Most of it is positive. So, minus the rumors and everything, or the leaks, I should say, where I'm not going to leak it for nobody. I know some of the leaks. I've even seen some gameplay. I see some of the stuff that's happened, and I'm not going to do that to nobody because the game's still new. Maybe in about a month after I play and beat it, we can talk about it. But it's funny because these leaks came out and people was like pissed and everything like that, but then get the game, it's like, hey, it's a great game. Most people say it's great. Of course, you have a lot of people that say, hey, I didn't like it. Mainly the storyline. I don't really hear too much negative about the gameplay. Everybody's saying the gameplay is really good, but as far as the storyline, people don't like it. But that's because a lot of tragedy happened. To me, I don't think that tragedy will stop me from playing the game. For those of you that personally knows I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. And The Walking Dead, there's so much tragedy in that story. So much tragedy in that TV show, man. Like, some of my favorite people, Herschel, for one. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to admit this as a man. I leaked a tear when Herschel died on The Walking Dead. Herschel was probably one of my favorite characters, man. And when he died, like, he was literally like that father figure you never had, Always gave good advice, always tried to lead you the right way. Always was proud of you no matter what you did, and then they, chop his head off, like, or almost all of his head off, But, The Last of Us is a story about everything is not going to be roses and peaches, Like, gotta, deal with it, man. Remember, these games are like movies now, TV shows. They're telling a story. The story is not always going to be the fairy tale ending where you get the girl and run off and drive into the sunset, So that's that, Let me see. Cyberpunk 2077 will beat it. My prediction. It could. Cyberpunk. Oh, I should have put that in the notes. I don't think I put that in the notes. I might have put it. Did I put it last or from a news bites? I don't remember if I put it in news bites. But Cyberpunk did get delayed. I think it got delayed another month. So Cyberpunk did get delayed. But they said that the game should be compatible with the next-gen systems, that you should be able to play the PS4 version on the PS5 and the Xbox One version on the Series X version. So you will get Cyberpunk that will be playable and compatible with the next-gen systems. Will they have a full upgrade versions? I don't know. There might be an upgraded version where you can play the PlayStation 5 stuff, but honestly, I don't think they should come out with it. A PlayStation 5 or a Series X version. I think that they should just let the current game bleed, if they do, they might already have, but, we'll see about that. So we got that out the way. So Last of Us. So yeah, fastest selling game. Here's one I'm really excited about, and I don't care that anybody, knows. Crash Bandicoot 4. Crash Bandicoot 4 goes back to my childhood, guys. One of the first games that I got and played on the PlayStation. Or actually, I played it on my friend's house one of my childhood friends at the time played over at his house and get my got my own PlayStation for my birthday and got Crash Bandicoot on it. And yeah, this is gonna be a kickback from the past for me. It's a platformer. I've seen some videos on it. Let me see. Actually, I can probably pull up the video from it now. Let me go over to YouTube and pull it up because I don't think I got the video on the hard drive. So let's see, YouTube, or well, I'm typing YouTube. Crash Bandicoot 4. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go, right there. So let me go ahead and first delete the text from there and put this to the beginning. Pause that. Make a full screen for you guys, and then let me change the scene right here. So check this out, guys. So I'm not gonna play with sound because obviously that's a copyright strike, and I'm trying to be a good guy for monetizing the channel. But here's Crash Bandicoot. You know, awesome stuff right there. So you can see, man, like the environment, like, looks good, man. Look at that. The Cortex coming back. There's our buddy Crash. It's About Time is what his name. And that game is coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. That's going to be a great game, man. Like, that's going to be a fun game, you know? It's going to be a fun game. Just like, look at that. And then they're going to have like 4 masks that you have to get. So not the, I forgot what they call the main mask, but you're going to have 3 other masks that you have to get and save in the words from what they're saying and be able to, you know, use them for powers and everything like that, certain powers. So, yeah, that's going to be a good game right there. That's going to be a good game. So, let me keep on resetting because I got the key on there. But, yeah, that's going to be a nice game right there. I'm very, very happy to get a Crash Bandicoot game. Very happy. I can't wait for that one to come out. Everybody talking about Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us. I'm waiting for a Crash Bandicoot game. I'm going to get those other games too, though. But, yeah, dropping October 22nd. PlayStation 4, Xbox One. There you go. Next news. We have Ghost of Tsushima went gold. So what going gold for Ghost of Tsushima means? So basically when a game goes gold or like any kind of media goes gold, that typically means that the manufacturers or the developers are done making it and it's ready for release at that point. So Ghost of Tsushima is going gold. July the 17th, PlayStation 4. This is probably going to be the last big PlayStation 4 AAA title. Made by Sucker Punks. For those of you that played the Infamous Second Son on the PlayStation 4, which was amazing. A great game. I will definitely say check out Ghost of Tsushima, man. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff with it. I can go ahead and probably see if I can pull up a video. Replay a little bit. Let's see how we're doing on time. Oh, man, we already at 40 minutes already, guys. Time fly by when you're having fun, I guess. So let's go. Let me see. IGN. Yeah, this says official trailer. So let's look at this one. Wait for this commercial pass. But Ghost of Tsushima is another game that I'm definitely interested in seeing. They have like a black and white mode on it to make it look like the old Chinese, Japanese movies. They got filters on it. They got Japanese text, Japanese language on it. So I cannot wait for that. Let's go ahead and switch that. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be an awesome game. Check out some video on that. But it did go gold. Releasing July 17th on the PlayStation 4. It's going to be awesome. Let me see. Oh, there's a new trailer for Cyberpunk 2. Ooh, I might have to see that. I have to watch it because I know it got some stuff on it which might not be appropriate for the channel. And I've been hearing YouTube being cracking down on some stuff for people that's trying to, you know, make their channel into a big deal. So I don't know if I'll show that. I have to watch the video first. So if I do show some of the video, or I'll probably just link it on the Facebook or the Twitter. I'll probably just link the trailer for that, you know, for mature audiences, because I don't want this. Even this game is like mature, but it doesn't show like too much. But I mean, just look at the graphic detail in the game, man. That's in-game engine too. That's cutscene. Look at that, man. That's awesome. That is amazing right there, man. That's going to be a good game. But Ghost of Tsushima, man. Going on to next news. I'll leave this trailer up for a little bit. But on to next news. I haven't played much games this past 2 weeks because I've been busy with other stuff and helping out people. We have, I played the Iron Man VR. So if you know Iron Man VR, for those of you PlayStation guys, you know what the PlayStation VR is. I like the PlayStation VR. It's very good. They do need to improve on some stuff going into next gen, but as a first step, I mean, it was a really, really good thing. So with the PlayStation VR, they took Iron Man and put it on there. And let me tell you, man, that is fun. It's also tiring. I think the demo was like about 10, 15 minutes, I think. And I felt like I got a full body workout. So for the game, you will need, and maybe I'll see if we can find it. I'm not sure if there's a trailer for it. VR, let's see. Oh yeah, here's a trailer. So, oh, it looked like it's a live stream. Let me see. Yeah, so let's pull that up. So, it looks just like this. And actually it looks better graphically, because right here doesn't look like, it doesn't do justice looking at it right here. But graphically, it looks even better than that. And you do need the move controls, so you have to go out and buy the 2 move controls, which I think retails right now for $100, and you might can get it cheaper in certain locations, maybe Amazon or something like that. But you will need the VR, you will need the move controllers. It's a pretty good game. Now, using the move controllers does point home where we do need new controllers for VR now. Because I did feel like, pressing some of the buttons for left and right was kind of like, but like doing all this stuff, shooting and stuff like that, all of it was seamless, man. It was pretty fun. I'm probably going to try to play the demo again sometime this week. But yeah, just being in an area with Tony Stark, as Tony Stark, and landing on stuff, and being able to pick up the tablet, like you can reach out and pick up a tablet. And it was amazing, because I've tried to play the Spider-Man VR, but for some reason that game didn't work as good, And actually, oh look, they got somebody playing it. So, and they got the little, Tony Stark core right there. But yeah, it's probably better standing up. You can sit down and play it too, but it's probably a little bit better standing up. But dude, the game's amazing. It's pretty fun, So we'll see when it comes out. I believe it comes out in August, I want to say. I have to check the date on that. I didn't get the date down, but I'll definitely let you guys know. So that's Iron Man VR. So pretty fun stuff. Alrighty, let's move on to the next topic. We are going to some Xbox news right now. So Phil Spencer, the head of Microsoft Xbox division, this dude has said this week that the July event is going to be a mic drop, and it's going to be one of the best events that you will ever see. Phil Spencer has said a lot of things, and he's a nice guy from what I can see, but man, do he be overhyping stuff sometimes. Like, they said that the third-party event that we seen last month, and I know a lot of people want to forget that, but I'm going to bring it up one more time. We was going to see a lot of gameplay. We was going to see some great games, but most of it was like 20-second trailers, stuff that really wasn't even gameplay, except for maybe Bright Memory Infinite, which is a game I'm actually looking forward to. That looks like a good game. Looks like an actual next-gen title. But I really hope he's on the money with this one, man, because to say that, hey, it's going to be a mic drop, I mean, Sony just had a great event, and they're not done yet. I'm hearing at least 2 more main events, not including the events for, like, showing off the games and stuff like that, because if you guys remember, if you was with me when we was watching the PlayStation 5 unveiling stream, that the Miles Morales Spider-Man trailer was pretty short. I'm guessing that that's going to be a full-out trailer where they're going to show us online and demonstrate some of the stuff you can do with it, demonstrate how the SSD works, demonstrate how the new graphics power and the CPU power works. That's going to be very interesting to see all that stuff in it, Like, they're going to come out with events. So Phil Spencer, I mean, they almost got no choice but to start coming out with it, man. Like, I think, unveiling the Xbox was cool. And then they went with the reporter online that had an in-depth, tear apart and everything like that of the Xbox. That was good stuff. But then the third-party event, I think we could have did out. I think they should have just packed it into, the regular first-party event like Sony did. Because if you look at what Sony did, they unveiled 26 games that's going to be playable on the PlayStation 6. I believe 12 of those 26 games was exclusive games. So games that's not going to be released anywhere but the PlayStation 5. I know that Microsoft has been buying up studios. And when I start getting the date down, I'm going to start, setting up a live stream. So I'll let you guys know when that live stream is going to be. But, man, dude, like, I really hope Phil Spector come with it, man. But I'm also wanting to see what they're going to do with the Series S. And the Series S, a.k.a. Lockhart, it's been teased a lot. They've been seeing it in the code in Microsoft Windows. They also now have a dev kit that the developer's been seeing that has a Lockhart mode. So Lockhart is real, guys. Is it going to be the Xbox Series S? I believe so. But this is what I'm hearing on it, and I'll give you my take. So Xbox dev kit, Lockhart mode. It has 3 modes on it. One is Lockhart, one's default mode. The other one is Series X mode, I believe. So they said 1080p, 1440p gaming device, meaning that the system will not have 4K or 8K capabilities with it, if the rumors to be served is true. Note, this is what some of the developers are saying, which is in the dev kits alone. So to not have 4K on the system, where both the new PlayStations are going to have 4K capabilities, that's interesting. Granted, a lot of people still don't have 4K televisions yet, or televisions that can do HDR, or heck, we don't have no television that can, or maybe 2 that can do everything that the PlayStation 5 and the Series X is going to be able to do. So that's going to be interesting to see. So 1080p, 1440p gaming system. They said it's going to be a huge focus for xCloud. So for those of you that was looked at my article, I think I posted it in my my random thoughts section of YouTube. To have xCloud onto a current or upcoming Xbox is going to happen. So if Lockhart is to be true, which is going to become most likely the Series S, that means xCloud is going to be the first service that's going to be in an Xbox system. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have it on a Series X too. So xCloud is going to be Microsoft's answer to streaming service. So basically Netflix of Xbox, if that makes any sense. You stream the game, you don't really download it. It might be a little part that downloads onto the system, to get some of the basic, controls and data and everything like that. But most of the game is going to be actually streaming online. I was one of the alpha and beta testers for the PlayStation Now. And even though I haven't messed with it in a long time, maybe I'll try it this coming up week or so if I can find some free time. Where streaming it has to rely on a lot of the internet connection, and I have improved my internet connection a lot, but you're still going to be dealing with stuff like lag. You're still going to be dealing a little bit more latency and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. It is running off those Microsoft Azure servers, and even Sony for the PlayStation 5 going to the Microsoft Azure servers now. So that's going to be interesting. So xCloud streaming. So first one that's not going to be a cell phone or a tablet that's going to have streaming on the console. 7.5 gigabytes of RAM. The Xbox Series X in comparison should have 16. So that's going to be a drop in RAM. They're going to underclock the CPU or have a lower power CPU, reduce GPU power. So it's going to be around 4 teraflops. So 4 teraflops is a long ways away from 10 or 12, I think, that the Xbox Series X is going to have. So from 13 to 4, that will tell you how much graphical power is going to have. They said the SSD is going to be the same, though. The SSD is going to be exactly the same. There's going to be no changes there. No price obviously mentioned, but I'm going to guess they're going to probably target this system about $300. If it's true, to come out with the system where the RAM is almost half. That's, teraflops is less than half. That's going to be interesting, actually, and everything, with teraflops is not the whole number. It's just like how much raw data, how much raw numbers you can get into the GPU. But it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to target that system for gamers versus the PlayStation 5 digital edition. My biggest thing is that this is not going to be priced within $400 to $500 price mark. This is probably going to be priced at about $300. You can't have this priced off at the PlayStation Digital Edition. If you do, you instantly lose that battle if people are looking for price. But that's all for the Xbox. So we'll see. July event, I'm not sure when it's going to be released. I've been checking every day. As soon as I get that news, I'll be tweeting it out, Facebooking it out, and I'll let you guys know. So, go to our last topic of the day. Apple. So, for those of you that had seen my news bites earlier this week, you know, Apple had came out and announced for their developers conference, which is the Worldwide Developer Conference, as they call it, or WWDC. They had unveiled a lot of stuff. So, I just have some highlights because most likely I'm going to be doing a special on this, so I won't go too long into it. But Apple is finally getting a widgets apps. So for those of you people that know, if you coming from the Android side, that widgets, you know, like you can put like clock there, you can put like a calculator, you can put your Outlook, you know, it's like basically a bigger app, you know, and it gives you more information instead of, you know, clicking onto the app and going into it. It gives you information right there on the screen as soon as you open it up. You don't have to really click onto the app in order to see information from it. So that's a widget basically, you know. So, like, say if you got the weather app, it'll show you the temperature, you know, the time of day, how it's going to feel at night, stuff like that. Widget, you know, and it's bigger. You know, it's not just reduced to like a square or so. So Apple finally gets widgets. Apple also finally gets picture-in-picture. So, you know, feature that I've been enjoying when I have to quickly scroll through something or looking through another video while I want to still hear something else. Picture-in-picture onto the phone, where it'll put, you know, picture-in-picture put into a smaller box. So you'll have that. App library. So app libraries, Android, it kind of has this feature, but Apple's probably taking it a step further. So what Android does, if you don't categorize, or if you don't, you know, make all your stuff ABC order, like you can put it into like a certain category basically. But I think app library is going to take that a few steps further, and it's going to help you reduce clutter onto the screen. So instead of having like 10 home screens available, you can reduce that and it will put into these app libraries. And it will also do like, you know, your recent downloads, your most frequently used, you know, restaurant, stuff like that. It'll be able to organize into all that stuff. So you have that. Also Siri. So this is a big thing that annoys me whenever I have to use an iPhone. And yes, I do use iPhone sometimes, for those of you that like to make fun of me. Not personally, but, you know, helping other people's and family. Siri doesn't take up the full screen. And this is something that should have been a long time coming. I don't know why they always made Siri take up the whole screen. We don't need Siri to take up the whole screen. You know, Google Assistant only took up a little. Even when we have Cortana, it only takes up a little bit of stuff. You know, it's just going to be a little circle. They kind of redesigned Siri a little bit. Going to be a little circle at the bottom, pops up, do your business. So that's, I think, is a little change, but it's a great change nonetheless for Apple fans. CarPlay is going to have a lot of improvements. So with CarPlay, you're going to be able to have a lot of more categories, like EV charging stations. So if you notice that EV word, you know, electronic vehicle or hybrids, bigger words, they're getting bigger every year, guys, every year. The more technology advances, we're going to hear more and more about it. We're going to definitely have more stuff on CarPlay, and they're going to include the categories with Apple CarPlay for like EV charging stations, things like that. One thing that I'm really happy about, being a car guy, even though I'm not an Apple fan, but this, you know, just makes me happy in general, is that they're going to have a digital key function for your cell phone. So starting with the BMW 5 Series model, 2021 model, you're going to be able to use your phone to open your car, start your car, etc. So you can take your phone, and yes, this is an Android phone, a Note 8 or Note 9, I'm sorry. So you'll be able to take your phone, just pretend this is an iPhone, take it, go up to the car, unlock your door. Open it, get in the car, it's going to be able to automatically start as soon as you hit the button. That's going to be very, very cool. Like, to not even have to use your keys, to have your phone with you, which me, I'm more of reducing stuff. Like my wallet, I have 2 wallets. About 90% of the time now, I use my smaller wallet. I don't need every single credit card. I don't need every other customer's card onto my wallet. And for the most part now, I've been trying to use Samsung Pay. So Samsung Pay has all my loyalty cards on it, most of my credit cards on it, etc. I just go and tap. You know, most places now, at least most normal places now, give you the ability to tap. And then with the Samsung, it has a great feature called MST, where it kind of works like a magnetic strip for those that don't have the NFC tap to pay functionality on it. But going back to digital key, that's going to be cool. They said that if the phone has a U1 chip, so I didn't know what phones had a U1 chip. The iPhone 11, every model of the iPhone 11, from what I'm hearing, has a U1 chip built in it. So starting with the iPhone 11, which is currently out, the next iPhone, iPhone 12, and the BMW 5 Series, you're going to be able to use this functionality with. I think that's going to be awesome. So this is where the world's going, and people's like, oh, well, I don't want to put everything in my phone. You know, I don't like to carry a lot of stuff in my pockets if I don't have to, so to put stuff on my phone would be a godsend. You know, I know they're working on digital IDs even, where you can put your, you know, your driver's license on the phone, you know, and have it, you know, it's going to be encrypted, everything like that, but put the driver's license on the phone. And people will be like, well, what if you lose the phone? Well, first, make sure you guys have a password on it or some kind of facial recognition or fingerprint recognition if you lose your phone. Second of all, make sure your cloud is set up, guys. Because if you lose your phone and you have your cloud, guess what? Turn the feature off. If you have your wallet and lose your wallet, guess what? You're done for. You know, you're going to have to go through a long process. But at least saying if it's on your phone and you keep your phone charged, then you don't have to really worry about if somebody steals it, because you just got to go and turn the function off. Hopefully, if you're near a computer, or, you know, maybe call your relative and tell them, hey, log in my account and shut everything down, you know, or something. I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. But I think that digital key is good. You know, like Tesla's already been using it. Volkswagen, I know, is prototyping it still. So it looks like Apple's going to try to push it forward and use that digital key. So drink some water here. Let's see any new comments. No new comments. Nobody wants to hear Apple. All these Apple fans. We have app clips. So app clips kind of works like if you guys have Android, like Android Instant Apps, where you pull up a website and then, like, say you scan something, and it'll pull up like a lightweight version of the app. So that's kind of like app clips. Apple's taking it a step further where you have actual scannable symbols on it. So kind of like how you scan a QR code with your phone, it should have that, and it can bring up app clips. So look for that to come out. Going to the AirPods would get spatial audio. So what that means is, so I have my headphones on right here, right? I have my pair of cans. So if I'm looking at a movie, I can hear surround sound virtually within my headphones. And they do a lot of tricks and everything like that to make that happen, because, you know, mostly your headphones just going to have left and right speaker. You know, some of them might have like some of the Skull Candies might have like a subwoofer in them, a speaker that's like a subwoofer. But with spatial audio, you're going to be able to hear virtual surround sound around you with these headphones. These are going to be in the AirPods. They saying to the point where if you look around even and move your head, that when the gyroscopes and everything in the AirPods will be able to recognize that and keep the sound field the same. So if the sound's coming from you right there, it's not going to move with your head. It's going to just be pretty much straight up, and you can just, you know, see it, you know, or see it, listen to it, you know, regardless. It's just going to stay right there, and you can hear it. So you have that. Apple Home got a lot of upgrades. A couple of upgrades, I'll talk about it real quick, but I didn't post them on my notes. I know one is going to have adaptive lighting. So adaptive lighting is going to be where the light adapts in the room to the time of day, basically. So it could be like a cool blue color, and then it can change to a warm light color, depending on your light bulbs. I'm guessing like Philips Hue light bulbs, going to be able to do that, where it can change the color of the lights depending on the day. So you have that. You have it to where if somebody comes up to your door, rings the doorbell, it'll be able to come up on your phone or your Apple TV. Not only that, it's going to be able to use facial recognition from like your pictures and everything that gets tagged, and be able to tell you who's at the door even. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. So you have that. And I also know that they expanding Apple TV, where Apple TV is going to be able to use the Xbox controllers, or more Xbox controllers like the Pro and their adaptive controller for people that's handicapped. So they're going to have that. Mac Big Sur. So it's kind of a redesign a little bit, and there's a couple of things where we're going to get to with our last topic. With Mac Big Sur, basically they redesigned a lot of applications, so a lot of the icons and stuff like that's going to look different. They added a lot more taskbars from what I'm hearing. They added like a command center on there and different stuff. And I'll go over it more with, with the future video that I'm going to go over. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the live stream. But It's going to have a lot of new features. Of course, it's going to be available on the Mac. I'm guessing, I think they said about fall that they're going to be coming out with Big Sur. The biggest thing with Big Sur is not even the software itself, it's the hardware that's coming with it. So with Apple, Apple has unveiled the Apple Silicon. So basically Apple Silicon, if you ever heard of an ARM processor, they're going to be using a modified ARM process technology and expand it to use it on their chips. Apple has been making chips for over a decade now. So a lot of people's like, oh, you know, they're making their own chips now. No, they've been making their own chips. Every iPhone basically that pretty much has released after the second one, I think it is, or whatever, they've been making their chips. All the iPads have their own chips. Now it's going to be the turn for your iMacs, your MacBook Pros, your MacBook Airs, all that stuff. Being ARM-based is going to use reduced instruction code set code instead of complex instruction set. So that's going to be interesting. They did say that they got Microsoft. They sold some of it running. Microsoft Office is going to be fully compatible day one. Adobe Photoshop, I believe they also said is going to be fully compatible day one. My question is, with the new Apple Silicon, is how is it going to work with the pro apps like Avid Pro Tools, Avid Media Composer, Persona Studio One, Motu Digital Performer? You know, going from complex instruction set to reduced instruction set can make the apps more efficient. And if you're on a mobile device, save battery life, but then they're also going to improve some challenges. How is it going to work with the hardware? Do I have to buy new hardware? Do the developers have to completely change the code around to make this thing work? And this is going to be truly a Mac versus Microsoft kind of debate when these chips come out, because it's going to be a x86 64 instruction set on the Intel AMD side versus the Apple ARM-based Apple Silicon, what they still are calling it. So I think that's going to be real interesting, and I'm going to be going over that with the future video, and might try to get some buddies on that one. But that's going to be very interesting to see with that, you know. But I think for the general consumer, not considering the pro market, is going to be fine. I think it's actually a better move to make, honestly, to go to these Apple Silicons. It's going to reduce development costs for Apple, you know. I'm not sure if that means it's going to reduce price for consumers. You know, Apple is. You know how they are, guys. So are they going to reduce prices for, you know, Apple products? I'm not sure, you know. But I think with most people, I think we're at the point where most processors now, even like the low-end ones, are powerful enough to do most people's basic stuff. YouTube, obviously, you're on here watching me on YouTube. Facebook, Twitter, Skyping, Zooming, you know, house partying, all that good stuff, you know, play your games on it. A lot of people don't need a full blown out, you know, laptop. They don't need 16, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Most people can make do with like, you know, maybe 8 gigs of RAM and a good solid processor that extends battery life. So Apple doing this, it makes 100% sense. You know, consumer market, it's going to be no problems. I don't think we're going to see these chips because Apple did say that they're still going to make some Intel products. So we're not going to be done with Intel products yet. I'm thinking Apple's going to release the Apple Silicon on all their consumer products. MacBook Air, the iMacs, those types of, you know, Apple TV, the Apple Mini, the Mac Mini. Those are the things I believe that's going to get the Apple Silicon first out the gate. And they say they're coming out with it this year. I'm hearing iMac, MacBook. First two products, end of the year, this year. I don't think that we're going to see an iMac Pro or a Mac Pro or a MacBook Pro get it until near the end of those 2 years. Because there's a lot of things that has to be done, and those code sets are a lot more complex. I mean, coding, even for simple stuff, is hard enough. I did some lightweight coding, and I can tell you it's not easy. But doing coding for, you know, pro programs, especially when you have to use $50,000, $100,000 software, you know, hardware with it, you know, $1,000 hardware, like, that's the real question. But I think for consumers, it's going to be perfectly fine, and you're going to be enjoying battery life, you know? So it's going to be real interesting to see how all that stuff plays out. Another benefit from it is that they said that like the iPhone and the iPad apps are going to be playable on the Macs. Like, I'm going to guess all of them at this point, because all of them is going to be using pretty much the same ecosystem as far as chips concerned. So it's going to be fairly easy to download and import a game from your iPhone and start playing on your desktop. input method is going to be a different story because you're going from a touchscreen input to a keyboard and mouse most likely. They do have the magic trackpad, but we'll see with that. But it's going to be interesting, you know. They have changed the game. You know, this is kind of changing history even, you know. And we're going to see a full bore out, you know, complex code versus reduced code set, you know, CPUs. And I know that's kind of, you know, hard to talk about, so I'm not going to go in depth, but just know complex set is a lot more lines of code, so a lot more programming versus reduced set, which you don't have to do as much programming, you know, from the developer side of it to run these programs. So the best way I can explain it right now. So, but that's, you know, that's Apple. That's all Apple news. So that's all I got, I think. Let me see. We don't have too many new texts, but that's everything I got for today's notes. If you hung out with my video, you know, thank you. I appreciate you guys joining and supporting me. Make sure you hit the like button below the video. Hit the subscribe button right over here. You know, subscribe. You know, we've got a lot more stuff planned. I already got the next live stream planned for next week, 1 o'clock. And, you know, we'll be here. I'll be here. So hopefully I'll see you guys too. Chat and text. And also, you know, my Facebook's right down here. So Facebook, Twitter right there. Go to those. I'll give you updates throughout the week on different stuff, you know, when I'm releasing videos. And then, of course, the live thing I try to do every Sunday at 1 o'clock. So, you know, thank you, everybody, for joining my live stream. This is Keyse from the Keyse Review. Peace, love one another. See you guys later. Bye-bye. And I want to say also before we leave here, guys, to be safe out there. I am reading that we are getting a uptick of COVID. So make sure everybody be safe. And I'll see you later, guys. Okay? Love you guys. See you next week. Or I'll probably see you week here, you know, virtually if you see my videos. So see you guys soon. Bye.